the fourth one. So I'm very proud that I have yet another amazing lady, an amazing ladypreneur. She's a mom of two already grown boys, and she is very, very proud of them. And I understand why. She's a really a business lady, and she has so much heart for all the people she works with. And proof is that she is on here today because I spoke to her for the Mompreneurs on Fire Summit, and already there I was impressed with all her knowledge, and she's going to go a little bit deeper in the training, what she's talking about today on how to onboard new clients and team members. So I'm going to introduce you to this awesome lady, Jodie Zarilla Ack. So I'm going to get her into the stream with us so you can see her and she can talk to. There she is. Hi, Jodie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me and offering me this opportunity to be able to share.
Thank you for accepting it. And I know your training will be awesome. I understand that it's very warm over there.
It is very warm today.
So stay cool, take your time. And Jodie, tell us a little bit, how long are you in the online business already? When did you start? Because you were a teacher before you started your online business, if I'm not mistaken.
I was an educator for 26 years. I taught early elementary students.
Oh, wonderful.
And then decided that I wanted to try something a little different. And found that having other streams of income was a very smart idea.
Mm-hmm.
I was very passionate about helping other women, whether it's in their health or in business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of like a sponge. And I just wanted to learn everything. It's funny because I went from being the person who taught little sponges, because
Uh-huh.
you know that when kids are very young, they're like a sponge. They just want to learn everything. They have a million questions.
Yes.
To becoming one of those people myself in the business world. And so I absolutely loved being a part of the first company that I joined,
Mm-hmm.
which was Health and Wellness. And that was about 7 years ago that I
Okay.
started in that company. But recently, in about the past year and a half, I joined a different company,
Mm-hmm.
which the reason being is just the opportunity to earn and share with customers. And the business plan just happened to align more with what I wanted for my business and for my life and for my family. And so it's been a total of 7 years. I've learned a lot.
Uh-huh.
I can't say it's been perfect the whole way. There's always your ups and downs when you're an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
and but you learn so many valuable lessons, whether it's personal, whether it's in your business, or just relationships with
Yeah.
people, and how to manage people, how to get along with people. And so it's been very valuable to my life.
Yeah, it's also a growth thing. I think the business that we are in, we learn so much. It grows ourselves, and that was something that I loved in the interview that we did. One of the questions was, how did you build your business? Because if I remember well the interview, you said you started with only clients. And then you said, okay, but I can also make my income, have an income on it. And then only then you started transitioning to business, to creating a team. So why has that become a passion for you? The title of this training is how to onboard new clients and team members. Where comes this passion from? Is it the training, to train people, to have new sponges?
Well, I honestly feel like, when I was born and growing up, I just tended to be that person who would put myself out in front and try different things, or someone who would volunteer or take the initiative first.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's a part of who I am. And so that passion just grew as I grew as a person in this community, this opportunity. And I feel like as you develop yourself and as you develop more relationships,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a trust factor,
Yeah.
and you develop those relationships with people, and they always tell you, you become most like the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yes.
And so I was always looking for someone who was smarter than me, for someone who knew more than me. And in turn, those other people who were doing the same thing as I was, you just automatically, start to work together and bond
Mm-hmm.
together, and you grow that trust. And then that's where I think the team comes into play.
Okay.
That you just automatically find the people that you resonate with, find the people that you work well with. Whether it's on social media, whether it's having conversations one-on-one, whether it's, through email or however you do it on a social media platform, those people, tend to be drawn to you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's because you've developed a relationship or something that you're sharing that just resonates with them and you get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really feel like it's just an authentic and transparent way to grow your team.
Yeah, because your team members were first your customers. Is that the way?
Some of them were. Some of them I just developed a relationship through my other company, or I just developed a relationship through, just being an entrepreneur and
Mm-hmm.
connecting with other people who were doing the same things as I was, whether I followed them for personal growth, whether I watched a podcast from them, or some other way that we connected.
And were you an entrepreneur immediately? Is an entrepreneur born? Were you an entrepreneur when you started your online business?
Well, it's so funny that you say that, because actually, prior to really going full force into my online business, I did some direct sales with a company that did cooking,
Okay.
um, supplies, and things like that. And I would go and do home parties. And so
Mm-hmm.
I never really said that I was like full into that. I just enjoyed doing it. I will tell you that a
Uh-huh.
lot of times growing up, I was somebody who was creative. I loved to make things and sell
Mm-hmm.
things to people. I would make things, give them as gifts, and people were like, you should really make those things to sell them. And
Okay. Yeah.
so I would do that just naturally. It wasn't like I ever started my own Etsy shop or anything like that. So I really feel like it's always been a part of me,
Mm-hmm.
but there were a lot of things that I needed to learn about the business side of it. I was good with the relationship part of it. I did well with being able to share and sell something to
Uh-huh.
customers. But as far as the business side of it and actually developing a team, that was something I definitely had to work on.
Okay. And how did that click come that you saw, okay, if I really want to earn money with this, if I really want to create an income with this, I have to do something different. When did that click? What was it for you that it changed?
So the big change for me was, even in if you talk about traditional network marketing, which a lot of people
Mhm.
use, or you're just talking about an entrepreneur,
No, for
you
us,
have to
network
look.
marketing. Mhm.
Right. You have to look and see, what's going to be profitable for you. So I
Mhm.
really think, you have to dive into the compensation plan and kind of figure out if it is going to be beneficial for you to be a part of this compensation plan.
Mhm.
And so the first one that I worked with, again, I said it, I did not know a whole lot about business. I did not know um, really, really well how the compensation plan worked.
Mhm.
There were a lot of people that were winning and using it. And so that was my first opportunity, and
Yes.
learning about, how to grow a team. I think that your traditional network marketing, a lot of them, you come in where, it's, most companies are consumption models, but you're
Mhm.
also trying to always bring in people that are business builders. So this new company that I'm working with actually has a dual-sided compensation plan, and so that was one thing that I loved about it. But the other thing that I loved about it was the team that I was joining already had some of this onboarding set up.
Okay.
So they had some systems already in place to help you to be able to share the products, somewhat sharing of the opportunity. But the whole thing is that you kind of have to, like, as a teacher, we can talk about and all look at the same lesson plan,
Yeah.
but you're going to teach the lesson plan completely different than I am. So the whole onboarding process, as much as I would love to say, like, this is all my idea, we work with Ray Higdon, that, and
Yeah.
he talks about ILT, invest, learn, and teach. And just because you're sharing something that someone else has taught doesn't make it that it's wrong or right.
No.
But I think you have to tweak things for the people that you're working with. So there were some systems that were already set up in place as far as for the overall company, for products, and for our large team. But my leader and I, who we jumped into the company, we decided that we needed something for onboarding our new people into the business. And also then in turn, we're using some of the things that they were using for onboarding customers, but then kind of tweaked them to make them our own.
Okay. And would you share some of these things that you tweaked and how you onboard them?
Sure, I would love to.
System.
So I kind of think of it this way. If I know we haven't all traveled in a long time because of the craziness of the world. But if you think about traveling, whether you're traveling on a plane or a train, like, there's always a process that you have to go through right after you purchase your ticket and you decide you're going to, go on a destination. So it may be different for each thing, whether you're taking a bus or whether you're taking a train or a plane. But there's always a process that you have to go through before you can get on. And everybody likes that, even when I was a teacher. And, kids so young like routine. I know because I had boys and I was constantly trying to figure out how to get them focused back and, kind of get them in a regimen so that our house could run, unlike a circus.
I understand.
So a lot of entrepreneurs, I feel like one of the most common things you find is them either saying that what makes their job difficult as an entrepreneur is, one, they're just so busy and they're trying to figure out a way to fit in something that they love or their business, or, if they decide to join network marketing or, social retail, which is what I do. But so there has to be something in place set up for them in order to make it easier.
Like
because that is what attracts people. Do you know what I'm saying?
A system or a framework, something like that, that they can follow. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, so I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of women, you're a mom, that they will say, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can be an entrepreneur. I don't know if I can dream this big. I don't know if I'm worthy to do all this. But when you, after hearing this a lot, when you figure out, oh my goodness, okay, so maybe if we had a system or a routine, like we ran our home, or like they ran at the airport, or they ran at the bus station, if we had a system or routine set up that would make them intentional about coming into the business, that it's going to help them to be more successful. So basically, you're just kind of streamlining everything down to different steps to help them to be successful. Because like I said to you, when I came in, there were a lot of things that I didn't know. And so what happens then with a lot of people, even if you look back at your own children, if your children are coming into a situation, or you're as an adult coming into a situation where there's a lot of things going on, and we know we're a part of society where there's so much information, what's the first thing you feel like? You feel like these big eyes and you're overwhelmed,
Yeah.
So if we want people to be more successful, then we need to streamline it and give them a system and a way to feel like they're not so overwhelmed, but realize they can take one step in front of the other. Kind of like when you're a child and you learn how to walk. You have to take one step in front of the other in order to be able to walk, and then in order to be able to run.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've created checklists And based on, first of all, we took the system that was already made up for our team for coming on and sharing products, okay, and turned it into like a text messaging system. So we made up a checklist to help people. That was a piece of paper, because I'm old school. I like the paper, the checklist, that you can actually, have that paper in front of you. We tell you what the process is. You follow the process. You check off everything you do, kind of like your to-do list.
Yeah.
And then that, you've kind of gotten started and off the ground.
Yeah.
And so then we also do the same type of thing with new business builders. So we thought, this was brilliant what they did when you're introducing new customers. So how can we do this same thing to bring someone into the business to help them feel the same way? So what we did was we designed a checklist. And so we thought, okay, what are the most important things that need to happen here in order for this person? Because let's face it, if you are becoming an entrepreneur, if you are starting a business, the end result is you want to create money. You want to create financial benefit, so you want to be able to prosper. I mean, as much as we all like to say, oh, try and do this with me, it's just sharing, it's not selling, and all those other things.
Yeah.
The whole benefit of it is to do this for financial gain. Okay. What you want to do with your financial gain is completely up to you. So we were like, okay, what are the steps that we need to do in order to help that person feel like they're getting their first big win, their first sell, or their first business person? And so we designed a checklist to do that also.
Okay.
In our company, there are certain steps, that you can earn things in your first month. So what can we do to get them to that first step, or that, to earn that first thing that they are all trying to get to? So that's basically how we do that. Every Monday, as an entire team, we do what we call a launch.
Okay.
And so a lot of times when you're having people come into a company, there's like a lot of people coming in. So the people who started on the groundwork were willing to do this launch. And then what can happen is, if you're someone new coming in and you're bringing in a new person, you and your person both can get on this call, which we do once a week in the evening. So then it's a good time for everyone once the kids are down or whatever. And then we walk them through this checklist. We tell them to have this checklist in front of them, and then they can in turn, do it after this first call or the second call, however long they feel like they need to do it. So in turn, what we're doing is we're not creating someone who, I don't know if I want to use the word enabled or dependent. We're not creating someone who has to keep, you don't have to keep coming to me, or, all these other people. I don't feel like I am responsible for their
own
business or their success, but we're teaching them how to lead their own business and be successful in their own way. So they take the checklist and they use it to benefit them in a way that is going to fit into their lifestyle. But at least it's a step-by-step process where they feel like it's not overwhelmed, but they have the opportunity to get started right away. Because that's the other thing.
And do that every Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, every Monday we do this. But a lot of times, when people come in, they feel like, their first obstacle to get over is to say, yes, I want to do this opportunity. The second obstacle is, okay, now what? What do I do? And you tend to get frozen and you think, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do this, or I got to do this before they're getting ready to get started, And so instead of leaving them in that feeling of, okay, I have to get started or get ready to get started, there's these simple steps, like I said, in this checklist that, one thing after the other that helps give you a win. Okay, I checked that off. Okay, I checked that off. And then in the end, they end up feeling like, oh my gosh, I did it. I succeeded. And so, after that, then we just work as a team on other things. But it is a great way to bring people in for a duplicatable system that where they feel like they can get their first couple wins and really get started after that.
That's amazing, because if they have the checklist, so they just have to copy and paste it for their new team member or whatever, so they can come into the group and then they can work together and they become independent, because they just have to check off the list. And the longer they do this, the more they are going to learn, I imagine, and then from then on they are growing stronger and stronger. That's amazing. That's really a good system. Yeah.
Yes, well, it's funny because my leader and I we're both teachers. So you kind of develop things, you develop skills, people tell you use past skills to do
Yeah.
what you're doing in your career now. And so, her and I are both very organized. We have a binder.
Like
We
in
put everything
school.
in our binder. We encourage people to have a binder and to keep everything organized together, so that when you're doing your daily activities, and we encourage people. We have a checklist for condensing your work into an hour to try to keep you focused.
Yeah.
Because we say to people, so do you think you could spend 1 hour at least 3 to 4 days a week intentionally focused on building a business to help your family?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are so much more willing to say yes when
And
they
all they have to do,
have something.
they take their binder, they work for an hour, they set an alarm clock. Okay, focus for 1 hour, 3 to 4 times a week, maybe 5. And that's amazing. That's I love that. Never thought of that. I have to say, I every year I start a new system, and that doesn't work. and now I have found one already some time ago, and it's like yours with a list, but it's in my phone. It's with reminders, and then you can also check off. Okay, I have to do this. I do it color organized, so this is everything that is for Facebook, and I need so much time for this. And then I have another one, a block for something else. And that is really the system is what gets you motivated. It gets you out of overwhelm, and it gets you somewhere. It's getting results. So, amazing! I love that.
Exactly. And I just feel like you said, every year you kind of change it because we're in different seasons of life, and so we have to kind of figure those things out. And you're going to fail. There's going to be parts of it that may not work perfectly for you. And you just kind of have to figure out what works best for you.
Yeah.
But I think having that framework, having some guidelines, helps people to feel safe. And when people feel safe and feel like, they can do this, because I think back to kids, when the kids felt like that they were safe with me and they could take that one step and that the next step and the next step, then, all of a sudden it builds your confidence.
Yeah,
it builds your faith in who you are. And there's so many positive things that come out of that.
Yeah. And because it's simple, they can do it, and they will do it. Because if it's too complex, you have to do this and you have to go to that system and that through that system. Not everybody is techie, and paper everybody can do. When you can write and you have a pen and a paper, then you can work with that. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Exactly. Well, and I love just having this conversation with you, how you shared that, you use your phone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that because it's with them all the time. With this, sometimes you might forget your piece of paper or whatever.
Yeah.
But it has to work for you.
Yeah.
It has to, however, you want to figure it out, whether it's your phone or your computer or paper. Like, there's going to be things, because there are people that come in and they're like, well, I can't do that. And then sometimes you just kind of have to say, okay, back it down. Let's just work through this and figure out, how it can be successful for you.
And with a binder, you can work through it. And when afterwards it becomes easier, because I love to write. I write every day because I think it gets better in my head. I had a conversation before you, and he said, why don't you take all this information, those stats out of your computer? Why are you typing it in manually? Because then I understand it. Then I know, okay, this went up, this went down, this I have to do differently. Writing gives you something in your, it's slower, because when you're typing it goes so fast that your brain not always keeps it, and when you have the paper system, and it's easier later on your phone or your computer, you can always transition, but at least in the beginning they have something to follow, and that's really amazing. I love it.
Thank you. Yes. So like I said, wasn't my creation. One thing will help lead to another. The checklist, like I said, they've helped us so much. You can, make it however you want to organize it as far as bringing people on board. But, I think great ideas, two heads are better than one, if you've heard that,
Yeah,
that
yes, yes.
quote. It's always good to work with other people and kind of brainstorm and think about things. And that's the other thing I love about teams, because I feel like
You're not
everybody
alone.
brings something different to the team.
Yeah. That's so true. So when I recap, because I know you have an important appointment, so I don't want to keep you too long. Your teams, you work with them, you give them a system that they can work through. From there on, they can go further. You started to build with clients, but it is really important to know your comp plan, so you know what part is bringing in the income and what part is not bringing that much, and to also to be honest for yourself. What is it what you want to do with this? Is that correct?
I totally agree with that. I think when you bring people in, you need to ask them, how much time are you willing to do this? Because I think a lot of people tend to get so excited when someone says yes, they want to do this with them. But I think you need to set boundaries with that person as well. Like I have a system set up for you. I need to know what your goals are. I need to know how much money you want to make. And in order to get you started, I need to know how I can best help you. So how much time you're willing to dedicate, how much time, I should know that I want to spend with you. I think, you have to figure that out together.
And give honest expectations, because sometimes I hear, okay, you can work 15 minutes a week and you can earn $10,000 a month. That is not realistic. That is not possible. Maybe later on, if you have all the automation in place, but before that, you have to work hard and more than 15 minutes a week. Okay, Jodie, do you have some last words of wisdom? Because I know you have to go, that you can share with us before I let you go.
I just think one of the best things that's helped me is to be consistent, try to have some kind of a system. I think some people start as simple as habits, daily habits. What are your habits? That can lead you into what your system is for the day. Be intentional about your time, because when you are an entrepreneur, when you're in network marketing, when you're in social retail, whatever type of a business that you're running, don't let it run you. Don't let it run your family. You need to be able to run and control it. So be intentional with your time, because you also want to make sure that the relationships outside of your business are just as important. So that's something that I had to learn, because I can tend to be an overachiever. If you're someone who can turn into a workaholic or be an overachiever, this is one of the tools that I have found has kept me best structured and kept me in line with, what I believe to be important in my life overall.
That's amazing. Thank you. I'm going to finish with that, because I couldn't say anything more. I thank you very, very much for your time. To stay cool today. It's too hot to be all over the places. And I hope we can talk soon again. I follow everything you do, and you're very inspiring. I'm going to put in all the links so that people can find you on Facebook and on Instagram. So if they want to reach out to you and have some questions, that they can reach out to you and connect with you and see what they can do or what they can learn from you.
Thank you. And before I go, I just want to say thank you so much for providing this opportunity for women to, you're doing the same thing that I was doing as far as a system. You're allowing women to use their voice. And I think that's so important. Like, I almost feel like choked up right now. But the value in what you're doing. I'm sure some days it may feel like, why am I doing this? Because you do it out of the goodness of your heart, but you are providing a platform and an opportunity for women to be able to share their voice, to step up and lead, to be able to offer their knowledge. And what you're doing is incredible. So thank you so much
No, thank you.
for doing that for us. And I know it's going to come back tenfold to you because you have so many wonderful gifts. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice words. I am a little bit, I have goosebumps. Thank you very much, Jodie, and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So wasn't she amazing? I love talking to Jodie. She always has so much value to give, so much golden nuggets, and really, you will see the link to her Facebook in this in the description of this live. Reach out to her. She has so much to share. So to recap this, so how to onboard new clients and team members. When you start your business, it can be so overwhelming because there are so many things coming on your way. You have so many platforms. You have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and so on, and so on, and so on. So that can be so overwhelming. What should I do first? Where should should I do next? And which platform should I use? If I may suggest give a little tip on that, use the platform that you are already using, where you already have some friends. Don't in the beginning, don't think too much about all the platforms. That is not necessary. The most important is for you to start your business, to take it, like Jodie says, like your business, and to have a system that stops the overwhelm. Because if you can do a specific system for reaching out to people, talking to people, posting, and so on, and so on, and so on, you can talk with your upline, you can talk with the leader in your company, you can talk with other people that are in the online business, that can help you, that can say, okay, these are the most important money-making activities, so the MMAs. That is something that if you want to create an income with your online business, then those are the things that you have to focus on, money-making activities. And so if you like, you can subscribe to the library list that is in the descriptions. Then you can see all the other trainings, because every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time, you can see another amazing woman that is going to give for free a 30-minute training to help you grow your online business. For me, the reason doing this, the Mompreneurs on Fire Summit, these weekly trainings, is that you can become more independent in your life, that you have more choices in your life. Because if you really create an income with your online business through structure, through systems, and so on, and you start to earn a consistent income from $300, $400, $500, $600 a month, you will continue in your business. And what is that going to give you? It's going to give you more freedom. It's going to give you more choices. Choices to eat better, choices to live better, choices to send your children to better schools or give better education, to buy more organic food for your children and for yourself, and do more things for yourself, because you create extra choices. And that is the whole reason of these summits, of these weekly trainings, so you become more independent, and that you have more choices in your life, and that you create the life that you want for you and for your family. So I'm going to leave you on this. Thank you, Adele, for watching. I don't know, Facebook user, who's that? And I wish you a very fine day, very fine evening, afternoon, or morning. I don't know what time it is for you. Here it is 6 o'clock, but almost 7 p.m. So I wish you a very fine day. Thank you for watching, and I see you next